On today's show, Tesla stock goes up and down a lot as analysts, investors, and the SEC try to get to the bottom of Elon Musk's privatization tweets from last week. Elon Musk shares what life has been like for him of late, and Electrify America launches its first ad to try and get people driving electric cars. These stories and more coming next. This is Ecotricity's ecoTEC Roundup show from New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. We're 100% Kiwi and 50% community owned. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Hi there, I'm Nikki, your resident ecoTEC host, and we're going off-road with our first story today. That's because Bollinger, the US company wanting to become the Tesla of go-anywhere, rugged, versatile electric off-roaders, has popped up twice in our newsfeed this week. First, it announced a refreshed front end to its B1 truck to make it more aerodynamic and handle better, which makes it look even more like the iconic Land Rover Defender. Then later in the week, it asked Elon Musk via Twitter if it could make use of Tesla's supercharging network when it goes on sale. Musk nor Tesla appear to have responded publicly, but given Tesla has been looking for other automakers to join its supercharger world, as long as they pay their electricity and help maintain things, this is most certainly a story to watch. Following Elon Musk's surprise tweets last week about taking Tesla private, there's been a flurry of activity this week trying to get to the bottom of it all. The SEC has allegedly subpoenaed Tesla as part of its probe to find out if the company and Musk intentionally misled investors over the funding secured statement. At the same time, Musk and Tesla are facing legal action over those same tweets, with several lawsuits now in progress alleging that they fraudulently engineered a scheme to punish short sellers. If that wasn't enough, Tesla's board has formed a special committee of 3 directors to try and decide what to do about Musk's desire to go private. The board, at the time of filming, has yet to receive a formal offer from the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, which Musk confirmed on Monday this week was the source of the funding he referred to in that now infamous funding secured tweet. The Saudi Arabia PIF hasn't confirmed its intent to invest either, leaving a lot of unanswered questions and a lot more confusion to boot. Add this in with an analyst report from Friday suggesting that the $35,000 Tesla Model 3 won't make a profit, and everything seems really unstable for Tesla right now. On top of that, the New York Times published the result of a 1-hour interview with Elon Musk on Thursday, in which Musk described the past year as being the most difficult and painful year of his career. Close to tears at points in the interview, Musk talked about working 120-hour weeks, missing all but the ceremony part of his brother's wedding, and spending a full 24 hours at work on his birthday. Musk is bare and exposed in this interview, showing a man who believes in the goals of his companies, but is also being physically and emotionally drained by it all. It's harrowing. Admitting his friends are concerned for him and that he sometimes takes the sedative Ambien to help him sleep, something that's more common than you'd think in the high-stress world of Silicon Valley, Musk said that while the company's worst times are over, his own personal pain is likely to increase before it gets better. The same article claims that the Tesla board is looking for a first officer to help Musk run the company, but it doesn't name direct sources for this information. In most of the US and Canada, it's time to head back to school, and those big belching yellow school buses will soon be making their way back onto the country's roads. But in California, Efficient Drivetrains Inc. has just launched a new drivetrain design to electrify Type A school buses. The new drivetrain, called EDI Power One 4000 EV, rounds out the company's school bus drivetrain options and means it's now possible to electrify all 4 classes of school bus found on the roads today. Rather than make the buses itself, the company says it hopes existing bus companies will continue to develop their electric vehicles using its technology. Having seen some of the smoke that comes out of diesel school buses, I'd have to agree. Just as it said it would, Chinese car company NIO has filed for an initial public offering in the US, with the goal of raising $1.8 billion in the process. NIO, which already makes and sells electric cars in China, is looking to the IPO as a way of helping it raise extra money. But with a net loss of $502.6 million on less than $7 million revenue in the first half of this year, and the company saying it isn't going to sell any cars outside of China yet, it's going to be a tough sell. Sono Motors, the German company behind the Sion solar car, has been so inundated with requests for test drives that it's decided to hold a second summer test drive tour. This time, though, it's going to be taking its 5-seat all-electric car outside of Germany to the Netherlands, as well as covering some German markets that haven't yet seen the Sion up close and personal. I covered this vehicle this week in the vlog, so if you haven't checked it out, be sure to do that after we're done here. Faraday Future may be doing a lot better of late than it was this time last year, but over in China, its operations have been taken over by one of its investors, namely Evergrande Health. The investment firm recently invested $2 billion in the company, and since Faraday Future's CEO JT is currently blacklisted in China as a debt defaulter and appears to be ignoring orders to return to China, this operational takeover could be interesting, especially since JT is still technically the company's CEO. Busy cities often don't have the space for extensive electric vehicle charging infrastructure, and local councils are often not keen on installing that extra street furniture in the form of EV charging stations. But for several years now, Berlin-based Ecotricity has offered a solution to both problems by retrofitting street lamps with electric car charging stations. Since most cities are now moving to LED lighting, which is far more energy efficient than old-school incandescent or fluorescent lights, the spare electrical capacity in most streetlights means that Ecotricity is getting some serious attention. And this week, we heard that the City of New York is going to be working with the company to see if its charging stations can be brought to the Big Apple. At the same time, in the UK, Siemens and Ecotricity have announced a partnership to retrofit street lamps in London. Sometimes the best ideas are the simplest ones. And finally, by now, I'm sure you all know about Electrify America, the organisation that came into being when Volkswagen was forced to invest in electric vehicle infrastructure and promotion as part of its penance for the whole Dieselgate thing. So far, we've seen Electrify America begin to install high-power rapid charging stations at important sites across the US, and this week we saw the first of its new ad campaigns trying to encourage people to dump the pump and go plug in. Called the Jetstones, it tries to compare gasoline and electric using the theme songs from the classic Flintstones and Jetsons TV shows, but it makes several basic faux pas of advertising, including mocking the audience who drive petrol cars. I'll link to it below, so let me know if you think it's a success or a failure. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, tell your friends about the show, and if you've got some feedback, well, send it our way. As always, I'll be back soon with more ecoTech goodness, so make sure you hit that notification bell to find out the minute a new show is uploaded. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Make sure you do something fun, and don't forget to help keep those wind turbines spinning by switching to New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. Thanks for joining me. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite. See you next time.